I think I have started now. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, it's sure.
So now, when you take care about this, is a quite nice, good thing that steps to vulnerability management and prerequisites for proactive protection. As we have already discussed, that security is nothing but a process which takes care about, from the very beginning where you can do the business, where you can do the requirement analysis, where you can see how exactly the functionality is being developed, where you can see how exactly the policies are going to be in place, where you can see how exactly the people are actually chatting with each other with respect to the way they are sharing the details. Then you need to have the, what you can say, the IT is a quite small part. So when you take care about the IT, it is just the implementation, nothing more than that. But your vulnerability is going to start with that how exactly the business is expanding. The other day we were discussing about that. What if your disaster management site is somewhere onto the mountainous region, or somewhere onto the very much a kind of deserted region? So how exactly those things are going to happen? So very first thing, when you say this is a strategy which is given by the Qualys for vulnerability management, so it is nothing but if someone asks you that how frequently you are going to do the vulnerability management. So the very thing, very much stress is supposed to be that you need to do this whenever any kind of changes, the big changes are there, whenever any kind of what you can say the functionality is getting changed, whenever any kind of the data is getting changed but you really do not know. So some of the people says that no, you need to take care about continuously, you need to take, depends on the criticality of your data, depends on the path by which your system is getting accessed. So again the network is going to be there. So it is a continuous process which takes care about the creation of the security policies, track the inventory. Now, when you take care about the tracking the inventory, what do you mean by the inventory here? The inventory, okay, so think about it. There are the policies, there are the standards, there are the baselines, and there are the procedures. When you take care about the standards are quite in general, okay, that when you take care about the policies, so policies are quite in general. Policies are not going to be totally kind of specific policy, but policies are mandatory to be documented. And then you are going to have the standards are mandatory, what you can say, the mandatory document which you need to focus on, because standard is going to say outline, which is going to take care about the the minimum amount of setup you need to have. Take care about this thing. So there are four different things. One is the policies, one is the standard, one is the guidelines, and one is the procedures. So as we have discussed, the policies are nothing but a kind of quite generalized way. Uh, you can say some of the theorems are being defined, some of the rules are being defined. You can say some of the roles are defined into the policy, that okay, who can do what and how exactly these are going to be implemented. This is a part of the standard. So the standard is going to tell you that how exactly the policies are going to be implemented. Why? To take care about the policies, I need to have minimum requirements. For example, take information of that. Okay, I am going to say that okay, the system must be in a quite secure stage, which is going to minimize the exposure to any of the kind of attack, you can say. So in that case, I'm going to say, okay, I need to have the Linux operating system or the Windows operating system. Suppose I choose the Windows operating system. So in the Windows operating system, which particular service pack I'm going to have? So when you take care about the service pack, okay, so why I'm taking this service pack? Why? because this service pack is going to give me the more security as compared to the other one according to the policies. Then you are going to have the guidelines. Standards are mandatory. A minimum this much must be there. But the guidelines are okay, minimum this must be there, but with this, if you can do this kind of thing, the things are really going to be good. So I can say minimum service pack 1 should be there, but if I can have service pack 2, it is really good. So this is the guidelines, but minimum service pack 1 must be there. So this is the guidelines which need not to be followed, but standard needs to be followed. I cannot accept the infrastructure for my product if that infrastructure is quite old, if that particular infrastructure is not allowing me to put any of the security patch, if that particular infrastructure is just incompatible to take care about more and more development. So when you take care about the standard, okay, I need to set up the standard to take care about my infrastructure. And then after that, you are going to have the procedures. Procedures are how exactly you are going to implement. For example, you log in into your system. After login, you do step 1, then step 2, then step 3, then step 4. These are nothing but the procedures. So whenever we take care about, so for this, we need to track the inventory and categorize the assets. Assets are what? The data. Assets are what? The equipments. So you need to say what are the equipment or what is the different kind of inventory which is really going to be good for me. So if I'm losing something, what I'm going to lose? So value of that particular data, value of that particular asset if it is equipment. You need to scan the system for vulnerability. So tracking, if someone asks you why the tracking of the inventory is required, tracking of the inventory is required so that even if I lose something, I will get the information or I will have the information that what is the monetary loss I am going to have if I lose a one particular inventory or one particular assets. Are you getting my dear students? So whenever you process with the vulnerability management, first thing you need to see, look at the policies, look at the standards. According to that, you track the inventory. Okay, I'm saying Windows 2000 Service Pack 2 must be there. I'm having, let's say, 40 to 50 machines, and out of 50 machines, only 3 machines are having Windows 2000 Service Pack 2. All other are having the different operating system altogether. So this is not the standard. Standard should, so you should not accept it. Why? Because according to your policy, whatever you are onto the display, you are saying that, okay, it should have these many of machines with the Windows Service Pack 2. But if it is not there, then you should not accept it. You should report it, okay, that out of these 10 machines or 20 machines, only 3 machines are having the respective or following the respective policies or the standard. Compare the vulnerabilities against the inventories. Classify the risk. Risk means top secret, secret, confidential, and at the risk, you can say. So who can access what? So classify the risk. Retest the patches. Always we need to, if any of the security patch comes, that particular security patch is always going to be tested into the sandbox environment. Please take a note. Sandbox environment means what? Nothing, no one can access this particular system, and this particular system also cannot send the traffic outside of that environment. Every security patch, never allow the security patch to be tested onto the production system, because you really do not know that which kind of flaw this particular security patch is going to have. So pre-test the patch, but where? You need to have the sandboxing environment. You need to have the proper report of it, and then only you can apply the patches And once application of the applying the patches is done, you can rescan and see whether the vulnerabilities are being reduced or not. So the first thing what you need to have, the objective of the vulnerability management is to see, reduce the risk to the acceptable level. You cannot mitigate it, you can always reduce it, reduce the risk to the acceptable level. Are you getting, my dear students, what we are discussing? So if someone asks you that why it is said to be that it is a continuous process of vulnerability management, so you need to explain these things. What is the create security policies? What is the scanning system? What is the how to take care about the compare the vulnerability against the inventories? Classify the risk, pretest the patches, apply the patches, rescan it. Okay, and these steps used to be the manual and lots of things, but there are the tools which can take care about many of these steps, you can say. Fine, dear students. Yes. Now, so the Qualys has presented that, okay, there is a rising volume, widespread exposure and acceleration of successful attacks, more exposed to the network vulnerabilities. That's what we have discussed a lot always. When you say the network vulnerabilities, what do you mean by that? Network vulnerabilities are nothing but the way your system is getting accessed over the network, and what are the different kind of exploitation your system can have over the network. Fine, so they have given very nice things that, okay, the half-life of the critical vulnerability is 30 days. Prevalence, most critical vulnerabilities replaced by new vulnerabilities each year. Persistent exploitation. Fine. So that's what I initiated now. Can you go through the document and then we will move on? Yeah, at least read first 2 pages. Fine, all the students? Hello. My dear students.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
read first 2 pages so that I can start with the 3rd page. Yes, all the students are able to follow the document.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm reading it.
Yes, any question? If you are done, shall we
Ma'am,
proceed? Yes, please, Palakji.
uh, ma'am, can you please explain the fourth step of the process of vulnerability management? Compare
Oh,
vulnerabilities against inventory.
yeah. Okay, compare vulnerabilities against the inventory. Okay, so when you say that you are having, for example, the Windows Service Pack 2, and then you are going to, sorry, Windows 2000, and then you are going to have the Service Pack 2. So, do you have the Service Pack 2 in inventory? This is the vulnerability which was causing in the Service Pack 1, Palakji. And since I'm not having those many of licenses for the Service Pack 2, so I cannot install it. And this particular vulnerability is being introduced by the Service Pack 1. Are you getting me, Palakjit? What I'm trying to say? So
Yes,
I do
ma'am.
not have those many of the copies of the Service Pack 2 or the licensed copy of the Service Pack 2, you can say. And because of that, in the inventory, and because of that, I cannot, reduce this kind of vulnerabilities. Are you
Understood,
getting me?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Any questions? Shall we proceed ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if you come with the page 3, Vulnerability Management Primer. Continuous process combined with the labor-saving technology to help organizations effectively find and fix network security vulnerabilities. Can automate the vulnerability management process, improves the accuracy as well as the speed remediation to ensure the better protection. Fine. The process is the create security policy and control. Define these to guide security efforts for the entire organization, because there where the business comes, down to configuration for security devices, servers, network services, applications, and the endpoints. Endpoints means the individual URLs, where exactly you can listen to that particular request. So when you say endpoints, the URL as well as the port number is associated with. So when you say the security policies and the controls, you need to take that, okay, you have defined the policies, implemented the standard, just look at those standards till the downside. For example, the devices, network services, that's what we have also discussed, that how exactly your system is getting accessed over the network. Mostly manual. Why? The reason is because the security policies you need to define, you need to take care about the standards as well. Track inventory. Vulnerabilities must be found before they can be patched. What the inventory is going to have? The devices, services, configurations. For example, if you do remember, we have discussed this particular thing. Mandatory access control. These are nothing but the confidentiality access control, which actually triggers the confidentiality. Who can access what? Who cannot access what? There is a service, there is a subject, and there is an object. So in that particular case, so you are going to have the services, you are going to have the configuration, you are going to have the relation between the services and configuration. Yesterday I have asked you one of the question was about the IP devices, if you do remember. The IP devices, as we have discussed, is nothing but what we can take care about. Yesterday, as we have discussed, the routers, the subnets, the hub and the switches. I really do not know whether you have gone through the SDN, which is nothing but the software defined network. Fine. Now let me tell you how exactly the SDN is working. What is the objective of the SDN? Now, if you take care about the simple network, the physical network, everyone is aware of how exactly the router works. Everyone is aware of how exactly the hub and switches are going to work. Now, so that's why when you take care about the cloud security, or when you take care about the vulnerabilities into the different accessibility into the cloud, there are going to be huge amount of vulnerabilities. The reason behind that is because there are going to be the multiple access points, and the network is known to everyone because they are aware of how to execute, how to use the routers, what is the limitation of the router, how to use the the hub, how to take care about the subnets, and so on and so forth. So they are aware of. Attackers are quite intelligent persons. So that was the major reason why the SDN, or software defined network, has come into the picture. What exactly the SDN is going to do? SDN is going to take care about, basically it is going to encapsulate the physical accessibility point for the routers, for the switches, or what you can say for the network, for the internal network. So when you define the SDN, since it is an abstract layer, I can reach to the SDN. But after reaching the SDN, it is quite tough for me to understand what is the network architecture this particular system is following. The major point of concern is the way your system is getting accessed over the network. So let me show you two things over here with respect to the images of SDN. Let me find out. Yeah. So let me have it. Share it right now. The screen is not getting shared. Just hold on. So here I have used this particular SDN or NFV, which is nothing but the network function virtualization, you can see, to virtualize the network. So you really do not know how exactly those things are working internally, because you're always going to say the virtual image of it. So there is a difference between the SDN and the NFV. We will discuss the difference later on. But try to understand this thing. Here is a service application and developer. This is the application interface. As simple as that, your web page, right? Here the SDN controller is. And this particular SDN controller, beyond this particular controller, you are going to work this again onto the application layer. This is nothing to do with the physical layer or data link layer or anything. I am always, remember this, by the attackers, always maximum amount of time, your application layer is targeted. And when you say your application layer is targeted, and here comes the presentation layer as well. Because data is getting transmitted from one end to other end in an electronic signal. Nothing can be done, but the way it is being presented to the other side application, there the attacker is sitting to understand, okay, this is being presented like this. So whether you use the NFV or whether you use the SDN, they are all sitting at the application layer as well as the presentation layer. Okay, so in that particular thing, you need to understand that if they are sitting in the application layer or the presentation layer, that means somewhere it has to be abstracted. And who is going to abstract this particular thing? The NFV, which is a network function virtualization. In the cloud, you must have studied the hypervisor comes into the picture, the CPU, storage, network, CPU, and whatever the things, physical resources comes into the picture. So before attacker can reach to this particular point, I need to take care about the SDN as well as the NFV, which is going to give me the understanding how exactly the networks are attached, or how exactly the network is being designed. Fine, dear students? Yeah? Dear students,
Yes, ma'am.
are you able to follow me? So before the attacker can reach to this particular point, I need to have the SDN, I need to have the NFV, so that it encapsulates the entire structure. Fine, dear students? Shall we proceed ahead? So did you understand, when you take care about the network security, the very first thing is that you encapsulate or abstract the layer of it, so that no one can directly reach to the network, whatever you have designed. So this is nothing but defense in depth. Are you getting my point, my dear students? So I'm creating, before it can reach to the actual network, I'm creating the different kind of layers, so that, even if one layer is being breached, I can take care about. My dear students, are you able to follow me?
Yes, ma'am.
Any question, Palakjeet? Any question? Abhi? This is a quite important thing what we need to understand with respect to, do not go in the architecture of the SDN or do not go the architecture of the NFV. NFV for now, it is quite important you to take care about. It is nothing but the network function virtualization, which is going to virtualize the network. So the real network is not at all going to be available. You need to cross the virtualization layer. The SDN is also there on top of the NFV. We can say the software defined network, where the layer is all about the abstraction. So a software is controlling the network accessibility. So again, it is a kind of layer before you reach to the NFV. NFV is a layer before you reach to the actual network. Are you getting my point? So that's how exactly this is the criteria. So depends on the data criticality, depends on the way you are using the data, this particular thing is being maintained. Fine, dear students. So think about it that you are trying to build up the layers. So as a vulnerability assessor, you need not to bother about that, whether you have taken care about the NFV or whether you have taken care about the SDN or not. But you need to bother about that, how exactly those requests are being reaching out to your system. Are you getting, dear students, what I'm saying? So your part is going to say that you need to ask the person to whom you are doing the vulnerability assessment, you need to take care about how exactly the things can be done. Fine, my dear students. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So here that's what they are trying to go for with this particular thing. Scan the system for vulnerabilities to take care about the CVE, CART, SANS. Compare the vulnerability with the inventory, actual vulnerabilities in the network, minimize the false positive. What do you mean by false positive here? What is the false positive? Can anyone tell me? What is the false positive? Yeah? Can you tell me what is the false positive? Anyone? Fine. Okay. Let's have this particular example. I have a dog at my place. The dog is quite ferocious. Okay. And the dog is not able to see that, okay, he doesn't actually, allow anyone to enter except the family members. Now, when you say the family member, it is the family who stays at that particular home. Family doesn't mean that the extended family. So here, when any of the person from the extended family comes to home, the dog is going to say, no, 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 this person is not good to be entered into the home. As simple as that. So what is going to say? It's going to either bite him or her, or will not allow it to enter it. But he's a good person. He's a person from the extended family. So when you say false positive, so unnecessarily, I'm just looking for any kind of critical exploitation or critical vulnerabilities, but The vulnerability does not exist. It is a kind of good behavior, but only the person is not going to be identified himself to a particular system. Are you getting my point, dear students? Hello? Hello? My dear students, I hope I am audible to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is, you need to understand that you take care about the false positive as well. False positive could be acceptable for some times, but not the false negative. And how it is going to be, we will discuss in the next lecture. So just take care about this particular document we are going to follow till the vulnerability management is done, and then we'll start with the network. Right? So we'll stop here for today.